Happy scrapper, happy scrapper, happy scrapper, whoa. Get ready to watch a happy scrapper video. Happy scrapper, yeah, yeah, here we go.
How's it going, happy scrappers? This video is going to be a little bit different from what we normally talk about. This doesn't have much to do with actual metals and scrapping, but it does answer a question that I get quite often: is how am I able to live comfortably, I guess you could say, just by scrapping? Well, it's all about the lifestyle, saving money and using your money the best way you can. And one of those things that I do to save and do the best with my money is I don't make car payments. I either buy a car vehicle from an auction, or I buy it from an insurance auction and rebuild it and use it. So that's going to be the topic of our video today, is how to use a company and website called Copart, and they sell insurance damaged vehicles. And I've just bought one. This is a 2014 Cadillac SRX. I bought this for my wife to drive. It was damaged in a front driver's side accident. I've taken most of the body damage off of it already. The front clip, this right fender, all the headlight assembly, and it had this wheel damage. I don't know if you can see, but the wheel has a pretty good sized busted hole on the inside, about yay big, and the lower A-arm was bent back. But other than that, there's no mechanical damage, no damage to the motor or transmission, drivetrain, any of the electronic devices. There is some damage to some of the wiring harnesses, but that's part of the reason I chose this car. Now, I gave $1,500 for the car. That's what I won the bid at. It has 116,000 miles on it, and it looks like nobody's ever even been on the inside of the car. But there is fees and everything that's tacked on to the Copart, to where I wound up paying about $2,300 for the car, which is still an excellent price for the car, considering we're going to have about $1,200 in parts, and then I'm going to do the labor myself. So I'll have less than $4,000 in the car, and Kelly Blue Book on it's between $17,000 and $20,000. Now, what we're going to talk about on this video is Copart, of course. We're going to do an overview. We're going to show you how to get started with the website, the fee schedule, which is very important. How to find cars on the site, the best cars to look for, and then a brief recap. But this fee schedule is going to be the most important thing that we talk about. Now, here is the receipt from where I purchased this car. Keep my hands from shaking. You can see the sale price is $1,500. The buyer fee was $470. Internet bid fee was $69. The delivery was a very reasonable $229. It came from China Grove's Allstate lot down there, which is about 2 hours away from me, so I thought that $229 delivery fee was very reasonable. That $470 buyer fee is kind of hard to swallow, but I'm going to explain that to you, and I hope you guys can hear. It's starting to rain here on the garage. Explain that buyer's fee to you, and show you how in certain instances you can avoid that. So let's get on the computer and show you guys how to get started with the website. Okay, we're got on our website now at www.copart.com, and this is what the site looks like. And at the present time, this is the 23rd of March 2020, and there's 185,535 cars available. So getting started with this, if you'll look at the site itself, I don't know if you can see my mouse or not with there we go, trying to film on this, but you go here to registration and you'll click the registration, and it's going to come up obviously to put your name, last name, and email. And this is all basic information. If you do have a company, this video is really not made for you, and you probably understand all this down here that you would need to do with your business license, but this is for just personal use, shade tree type repair, mechanic. So you would click off of this business here, and you'd want to go over and click the individual, and that'll come up with just name and address. At the bottom, it's going to ask you a couple of questions like what type of vehicle you're most interested in. Buy the vehicle, you know, for rebuilding it for fun, or it even asks you if you rebuild for profit or that kind of thing. Then you'll click the that you don't want to be recommended to a broker. You want to click down here, this box that you're 18 years old. You don't want to be involved. You don't want to have to pay a broker fee. There's just as many vehicles that are available to you that has no license required. So, but if you look on the site and decide you want to go that route, or something you want to see that you do see that you want to purchase, then you can go that way. And then you'll need to click the usual "I'm not a robot," and it'll want you to upload a picture of the front and the back of your driver's license. That's a guarantee that you're not a robot or just filing at random for spam. So, and I suggest not scanning it by your printer and putting it in. Take your cell phone or something like that and make a good, clear, legible picture, and get that uploaded. And once you upload it, it says 2 to 3 days to approve your membership. With a good, clear picture, it'll be approved in just a matter of minutes. And then you're ready to go back and navigate the site. You'll be given a password, a one-time password, through your email, and then you can go back to click the home up here, and it takes you back to where you need to start off with Copart and start shopping. So what we'll do now is we'll look at I think it's more important to let's go and look at the fee schedule now before you start looking at cars. So let's take a look at that now. Alrighty, that was a general overview of Copart and getting started. So let's jump back on the computer now, and we'll talk more in depth about this schedule of fees and what you're potentially could be paying. Alrighty, instead of trying to look at the grainy video on the computer screen, I've printed these papers off here to show you the fees and stuff that you're going to be looking at paying. These are the standard vehicle sale price fees, and you would be considered either fee C or fee D. Sounded strange, didn't it? Now let me explain a little bit about those, if I can find it on here. Okay, here's the fee explanations. Fee C is a consumer member using a secure payment. And what they consider a secure payment is money order, wire transfer, e-pay, cash, available funds. I guess that was maybe if you had a huge deposit down or something. A cashier's check, company check, or third-party financing. The problem with that is they only give you 3 days to make payment. And they consider the day you won the bid as a payment. I mean, as a day. So if you have an auction, they have auctions that end in all hours of the day and night. So if you have an auction ending at 9 o'clock at night, that's your first day. So you've only got 2 days to get payment to them. So if you're ordering I mean, if you've bought a car that's at a lot that's 4 hours away or something, then you're just not going to get payment there to them. Now, non-secured payment types is credit card and debit card. And those are considered non-secure because you have the opportunity to do a chargeback or, you know, say, hey, this is not what it's supposed to be and it's just a big hassle. People that try to scam people do that. Now, I'm not saying that everybody that does a chargeback is trying to scam somebody. Their chargebacks are there for the purpose they're meant to be. And again, another fee that you're going to be looking at is bidding on the internet is what they consider a non-kiosk bid. Now, a kiosk is like set up at the local yard and you can go over there and bid after you see the vehicle. So say we're going to use everything on $1,000. So you paid $1,000. You want to bid for $1,000. So your internet bid fee, I don't know where that came from. Your internet bid fee is going to be $59. So you need to be prepared to add that to whatever amount you're willing to pay for the car. And we'll go over here, the same thing, say $1,000. So you bid $1,000, you won $1,000. Your fee, just flat out fee for bidding, is $385. That doesn't pay for anything. That's just a fee that they charge you to be able to bid. So you need to make sure you have those fees in your mind to say, okay, if I win this for $1,000, I'm going to wind up paying $1,400 to $1,500 for it because of the fees. And another fee that they throw in there is a gate fee of $59. So when you go to pick the car up, if you're going to pick it up yourself, there's a $59 gate fee. They say that's to help, you know, bring the car around to you or whatever. But one way to get away from that or get around that is if you do the delivery. You have a Copart recommended delivery service bring the car to you. They don't charge you the gate fee. That's what I did. Is $229. You've seen it on the first receipt to have the car brought to me. I saved that $59 there. So those are the fees that you need to keep in mind that, hey, this is going to cost me the extra money here. So you don't want to win something or say, I'd like to have that car or that truck and I'm willing to give $2,000 for it. And you pay $2,000, you know, bid $2,000, and then you have these fees come up. Now, one other thing about fees and expenses, once you sign up and get approved for the website, you're allowed $1,000 in bidding for, you know, there's no deposit. For every $1,000 that you want to be able to bid, there's a 10% security deposit. So if you're wanting to bid $10,000 on something, you've got to put down $1,000 security deposit. You can get those security deposits back after the auction, but they will not knock that off of the price of the car. So you're going to have to make sure you have that money squirreled back to be able to pay for that. So, you know, if you bid $3,000 on something and you've got a $300 deposit on there, don't think they're going to, you know, send you a bill for $2,700. It doesn't work that way. You pay the full price and then you request your security deposit back, and that can take anywhere from 7 to 10 days to get that security deposit back. So let's keep moving. Okay, I hope that wasn't too hard for you to understand, but that was the explanation of the fee schedule. So now I'm going to go back to the computer again, and I'll show you guys how to find the cars that you would be eligible for to bid on the website. So let's go back again to the computer and look at that. All right, now we're going to talk about the best cars to look for. Now, when we talk about the best cars to look for, it's not performance, gas mileage, the amenities that the car offers. It's strictly on price. Now, I choose a higher price car because the more likely they are to be totaled out with less money involved if you're going to rebuild it yourself. Now, like I said, we're going to have about $1,200 in parts. Again, I apologize for the rain on the building. We're going to have about $1,200 in parts on this car. Buying the parts ourselves and buying them offline. Compared to what the insurance price would be on repairing this car is almost $6,000 in parts. The insurance will not allow a body shop to buy secondhand parts or buy parts from another manufacturer other than GM. Now we're going to buy some parts from GM, like these panels, these brace panels and things like that are spot welded on. There's really no way you can go get one of those off of a boneyard, because just like they're spot welded on, they're impossible to take off without some type of grinding tool or something like that, and then it's a huge hassle. But we're going to buy those. But give you an example of one part on a more expensive car that really it just makes it a better buy for you. This is the HID headlight that comes on this car on the passenger side. Of course, the driver's side, as you can see, was destroyed. Now, we can go to a junkyard or a boneyard and buy that same HID headlight to replace this side. We might have to buff it out a little bit to make it look new, but we can get that headlight for anywhere from $200 to $500. Insurance replacement quality light is about $1,000. The light from GM to replace that is $2,000. So you see how the money adds up to how quickly a more expensive car will get scrapped out or totaled out with not very much damage. Now, if this was a Kia or something lower end, I'm not making fun of anybody's car, but the replacement parts are so much more cheaper than they are for a premium quality car, I guess you could say. So if you're looking to save a lot of money and get a really good quality car, Cadillac, you do see some Mercedes, but their prices on parts are pretty crazy anyway. But American-made quality car, luxury car is going to be your best bet. Cadillac, some of the higher end GM stuff. Ford, most of their stuff nowadays is SUVs. They don't make very many luxury cars like they used to when Lincoln and Mercury was around. So that's the biggest thing you need to look into when picking a car to look for. Now, another thing you want to look for, and it's good that Copart offers this. Copart, on their website, it will have several pictures listed, and they will give you the option to blow those pictures up. Now, when you're looking for a car, you want to look for structural damage, one, and then you want to make sure there's not excess fluid coming out from around the bottom of the car. So structural damage, like your frame, is bad news. If you get a bent frame, that's something you're not going to be able to do in your garage unless you jimmy rig some crazy setup with chains and everything. So that's going to be bad news. And if you see a car that's got excess fluid underneath the car, it could be okay if it's just a radiator, but if there's a lot of fluid underneath that car, that damage could have cracked the block in the motor. If this is front wheel drive car, it could have cracked the case on the transmission. Those two, for a home mechanic like you and I are catastrophic damages. I mean, it's just something that you couldn't, you'd wind up better off just buying a car from the lot. So blow up your pictures, look for structural damage, and look for, excess fluid coming out from underneath the car. One good thing about Copart is up at the top of the vehicle description, which we'll talk about here in just a minute, it will have a start and run option where you can click on that and it'll say, yeah, the car started, they put it in gear, and it moved forward a little bit and moved in reverse a little bit. So that helps out a little bit on there. But there could be catastrophic damage to a vehicle that still does that. So let's go back in and we'll start to look at a recap of where we're at, and then see if there anybody has any kind of questions that can pop up that we see on their site were the most frequently asked questions, and then we'll have a recap. Alrighty, now we're back on the Copart website again. Sorry about the grainy video. It's like I said, it's being filmed on my computer screen's actually a television, so that's why it makes it that way. So once you punch in your username and password, you go over to Find Vehicles, click on the vehicle finder, and then you want to find the no license required, which is the majority of the vehicles on here are no license required. And then that comes up with the search results for no license required, and you can start seeing the cars that are on here. And then you can go on over here and you can start picking out your vehicle that you want. You can pick out the make, the model, and you can, once you get that cleared, you can also go over here to the top on this side right there, punch in your zip code, and that's going to bring up the cars that's closest to you. And then it'll show where you can bid. You can bid now. Every once in a while they'll have a car on here that's listed as buy it now, where you can just see the price there and just buy it if that's what you want to do. But let's just look at one vehicle here, just the first one on the list, and it is oh Lord, it's a trash truck. That's bizarre. Okay, but anyway, we're going to stay right here. And these are some of the options that it has. It has no actual miles. It's going to have a certificate of title of salvage from Louisiana. Enhanced vehicles are vehicles that they've cleaned up a little bit and says like they've washed the windshield. So you can clearly tell that vehicle has been spruced up to be the best it can be, because that's one sharp looking trash truck there with the manual air conditioning there. But anyway, it'll have things on here that'll say that the car will start and move back and forth like we talked about earlier. But you can explore the site. It's pretty self-explanatory, and you can get on there and find you something. Save a ton of money. It's a lot of fun putting the cars back together and finding the parts. And we were going to do the recap, with the frequently asked questions, but we looked through that on the site. There's not really anything that we haven't covered already, but go explore Copart, look through it. I suggest you go ahead and register. You get $1,000 availability without putting a deposit down that you can use. Shop through it. It's an excellent way to get a good vehicle with just a little bit of elbow grease put into it, and you can save a ton of money. So I hope this has helped you guys out. If you have any questions, leave a comment down below, and I'll try to help you the best I can. So save money, keep scrapping, have a great time. You guys be safe out there, keep washing your hands, and hopefully we'll get by this corona stuff and be back to normal. Thank you guys for watching, and happy scrapping.